Hello everyone and welcome to another Tunisian Crochet Graphghan Boutique Live. I'll give everybody a minute to join us. Let me start. We've had a few questions about the decal that's going on and about how to make their project longer than it is wide. They've got the width that they want. I've been trying to upload the videos today about decreasing, and of course with all the rain and everything else, Facebook's been doing its own thing today, which is fantastic. So it's not uploading the video. Hopefully this evening I can get it to load, or if not, first thing tomorrow morning. Hi Amy. So yeah, the video's been giving me some grief today because of all the rain and weather up here. Hopefully I can get them loaded this evening. Do we have any questions about the decal so far? Any of the new members, do you have questions? Hi Karen, do you have questions about the hooks or anything else if you're a new member to the group? Yeah, hello Crystal. We're going to be doing two different video series to add, and one will show you how to make your blanket longer if you want it longer, because we've already got the width that we want. A few members said they wanted theirs a little bit longer, then it's going to be wide. So I'm going to do a video on that, and then I'm also going to see if I can get the video for the decreasing to upload. It's like I said, it's been raining and windy and internet's just spinning and my connection's been absolutely crappy today. And that's why we ask in the event too, there's a flyer that says, you know, do you want your blanket more of a rectangle? Everything we designed, the 15 by 15 and 9 by 9 are going to be square. Hi Melinda. And like I said, a few people ask, you know, hey, I want to make this longer. So I will be showing how you decrease on one side only. Hi Denise. How you're going to decrease only on the one side. And that will make your blanket longer. And then I will show you how to do the decreases on both sides. Because a lot of us, once we got our blanket figured out, this thing is a little bit big to try to hold everything up and see. When we put our stitch markers in, this is the stitch that we skip, and this is the stitch marker that goes into that chain one space. When you get to the part that your blanket is as wide as you need it, to start to decrease, you're going to go into this where your stitch marker is, and you're going to pull up a loop, and then you're going to pull up the loops here and connect. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you a block here, and this will be your corner. So now your edges are going to come up and they're going to look like this. So what we've done is we're going to cast this on and then work this block, and then you're going to do the same thing. So it's the same as we've been doing all along for the second block. Hi Tanya. So it's everything we've been doing for our second blocks. To decrease is you're going to go into your chain one space, and you're going to pick up the 14 stitches, and you're going to work it like you worked your second block. Now when you get to the top, since we've already reached our highest point, let me pull my So now this red is the highest. This is my diagonal. This is the highest one I'm getting. So now this is going to be the top of my blanket, is this diagonal. I did all my 15 increases and I ended with the red. So now when I do my next block, we're going to work it like we worked the second block, and we're going to work our way up. And then you're going to bind off, and this is going to be the corner of our blanket. So each row, to decrease, you are going to work the next row. So then you will have your third block high. So we're starting here and we're picking up, and then we're going to do our black, and we're going to work our way up. And then once you get to this point here, you're going to stop here, and that's going to be your corner. I like to put a stitch marker in my corner so that I know I'm not going any higher than this block, because it's so easy to get up there and then realize, oh no, I added an extra block, or it's not going square. So I like to add a bright colored stitch marker to this block so that I know it's my corner block. And the same with my first block down here. I like to add the same bright color stitch marker in here so I know that I'm only working up from here and across from there. That way I make no more increases. Now if you're making your blanket longer, you are going to work the increase here so that you have the 2 blocks high, and you're going to continue to work up, and then you will work a block on top of here, and you're going to continue making it the increases here if you want the rectangle blanket, and that will give you a length if you want a rectangle and you want to go higher. And like I said, I'm going to add the videos in today with the rain and the storms that came through. Facebook is not letting me in. I'm surprised it's actually letting me go live right now. Do we have any questions so far? How is everybody doing with the T-Cal? Are you having any problems with it? Do you have any questions? I was hoping, like I said, I was really hoping to get the videos up today, but Facebook. I have enjoyed seeing everybody working on it and how fast some people have actually got their increases done. And the fact that we're adding the decrease videos, do not get alarmed that, oh gosh, I gotta hurry up, because they're going to be up for a while. I just wanted to try to keep up with the people that are actually are fast crocheters that are getting everything done super quick. So far it doesn't look like we've had any questions. Hi Shonda. Yeah, but like I said, those videos that are going to talk about the increases, since we're done with the increases, we're going to start on the decrease videos. We're going to get them uploaded into the group and get all of that going. And for those of you that wanted the rectangle one, there's going to be a video series for that one specifically as well. I think what I'm going to do is on the post where it talks about rectangle versus square, I am going to do the square videos, and then underneath I will post the rectangle videos, and I will post, you know, these are the rectangle videos, and that way you guys will be able to follow them, because they'll be posted in the group, but they'll be posted under that flyer as well. So how is everybody that's doing the T-Cal liking it? Do we have any questions? Is anybody having any problems? Or is it coming along easy and people are pretty, you guys understand it pretty easily? I know there was a lot of concern in the beginning from a few that were like, I don't know if I can do this, but they've posted their work and their work's been fantastic. Melinda says she likes it. Well, that's good. Yeah, I like the idea of doing the bigger hook and the nicer drape, because it's so hard for beginners. When you're first learning something, I notice a lot of people, they crochet super tight, and it's hard to get into them stitches. That's why we use the bigger hook and to get the nice drape. Um, we will be doing a border on this. You do not have to do the border that we're going to teach here. You can put on whatever kind of border you want to. So that's no problem. The border videos should be going up, I'm hoping, in like 2 weeks. Shonda says she hasn't had time to work on it because of a Christmas order. Yeah, that's why I wanted to leave this up too for a while, is because I knew that the holiday orders and stuff were going to come in and people were going to get swamped. And, I think that's what I said. It's frustrating that you start a project in different groups and you're like, oh, I really want to do this. And they're posting parts of it and then you miss out. And that's why I wanted to leave this up for like over a year. And that gives everybody the opportunity, whether you're a new member or you're just joining or you're waiting for your hooks to come in or whatnot, then you have the opportunity to work on it. I like things nice and slow and easy. When you got to stress over things, it takes the fun out of crocheting, and I think a lot of us use it as an outlet to escape from stress or just to relax. Um, so has everybody on here, they've started it, or they're not having any problems with it? We don't have any questions. And if you see this video, these live videos, they stay up in the group. But if you're watching one of these and you have a question, please post, because we'll still get notifications on it. Or post in the group if you're afraid we're not going to see it. And, there's no stress in here about, oh, this has been asked before, because this is a beginner-friendly group. I remember what it was like when I was learning, and it was so frustrating because so many different YouTube videos teach things different ways, and you're watching stuff and it's so confusing because one person does it one way, one person does it another way, and then there's videos that are the stitch that you want to learn but they're in a different language, so then you've really got to watch what's going on, and it's just difficult. So I try to keep everything very beginner friendly here. And, some of the stuff we do, you do need to practice a little bit, like the color changes, for example. But once you get them down, they're pretty straightforward, and I love seeing the back of people's projects using the color changes here. It's so much cleaner than anything else that I've seen, and I get compliments on mine all the time, especially in shows. And when people see the back side, they're like, how did you achieve this? And that's one of the reasons why I started this group as well, was to teach the color changes, because I had so many questions. Karen, the video to do the increases to make your blanket rectangular will probably be in the group tomorrow. I've tried uploading videos this evening, but I was saying that Facebook has done its own thing today. I don't know if it's because of the rain or just Facebook. A few people have messaged me they're having problems with Facebook. And let me see. And like I said, once you get to your corners and you figured out this is the width that you want, designate a certain color. Like for all of my outside blocks, I have the purple. And when I get to my edge that's the widest, I'm going to put a big green stitch marker in here, and that will make me remember that this is the corner. I'm not going to go out any further than this for the T-cowl. This is going to be the corner, so my sides will go up. Hi Mary, hi Jojo. And like I said, what happens is when you go to increase here, you're just going to increase or decrease. When you go to decrease, you're going to pick up these stitches across just like we did for the second block. So for all the decreased sides, that's what you're going to do, is you're going to keep picking up like the second row over and over and over again, and it's going to give you a nice square side like this. So when I get to the next row, I will decrease and just increase just up on this block. So like if you're doing the square on your decrease row, since we're doing the square, we had 15 blocks for our widest. So now for the decrease, you're going to be decreasing by the one here, and then you're just going to work straight across in this top edge. So your top edge will be square. And for those of you that want to do the rectangular one, you'll still be increasing, but it will only be on your top edge until you get the height that you want. And then you'll follow the decrease that we're following for the square blanket. Does anybody have any questions about that? Hi Pearl. Does anybody have any questions about that decreasing section? Like I said, there will be videos up. I did make videos. I'm having trouble with Facebook uploading them, so hopefully they'll be in tomorrow. Do not feel rushed that you have to hurry up and catch up and get to the decreasing part. That's not what this cowl is. This T-cowl is something you're supposed to take your time with and enjoy it and have fun with it. It's going to be up for a long time, so don't feel like you're going to have to hurry and the group's going to get, you're going to get closed out in 3 months. That's not what's happening here. Yes, Karen, say whatever you want. So I hope everybody's liking the colors that they picked out and everything else. We did have the gauge in there. Most of us used between 12 and 13 yards per block. And I know that a lot of people were like, there's 225 blocks. But, when you're working it in rows diagonally, it sounds like a lot. It does. It really does sound like a lot. But when you're working it in just a row at a time, and the rows are so big, and they, each block is so big, it really doesn't seem like it's as many. So, Karen says, when doing the rectangle, you will keep 15 blocks until you get the length you want, and then your second decrease to square it up the rest of the way. Yes, what you're going to do is you have the width that you want. So now to start your next block, we're going to do the decrease up on this top block. This is going to be our corner block. And for the corner block, like I said, Karen, I'm going to put a bright colored stitch marker in here to know that I am not going any wider. That's like my watch out stitch marker, that it's bright. So I know I'm not starting on this edge anymore. I'm always going to be starting on the top of the block. So you're going to start on the top of this block, which in turn is just like we started the second block in the row. And then you're going to work your way up, and then once you get to the top, you will continue to do a block up here because it will continue to grow high, where the people that are doing the square, they're going to stop at this corner block and do this one and then bind off. So I hope that makes sense, and if you have another question, please ask. Like I said, the videos will be going up. Facebook just, and the weather just aren't cooperating right now. So, does that make sense, Karen? It seems too, a lot of people were saying, you know, once you get your momentum down of doing the blocks, they kind of get faster as you go along. I've seen a few people say, oh, you know, once I got, you know, the first 3 blocks, 3 increases done, you know, it was mind-numbing because you can watch TV and you can do this, and it's super easy because there's really the only counting of the rows, and it's not like when you do a Graphghan, you're not counting, you know, 240 stitches, and you're not counting how many, hi sissy, you're not counting, you know, okay, I got 3 white, I got 5 black, I got 6 white, you know, so this was more of a mind-numbing, beginner-friendly cal to get everybody started. And I know we have some new members that are starting. I did have a member post or message me today and say, oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. And I'm like, no, you're not. We just started this. It's going to be up for a long time. And so no rush. Just because we're adding the decreasing part right now, do not feel like I'm so far behind in 3 months it's going to be taken down, because that's not what's going to happen. Karen says, yes, it all dawned on me after doing the rectangles for about 5 years. I was just saying that so people that were doing the rectangle wouldn't be so confused on why the extra rows for length didn't count down. Hi, Penny. I'm doing well. Like I said, it's a nice chilly day up here in Pennsylvania, and it's been sloppy and raining, so I got a lot of indoor stuff done today. Yeah, like I said, Karen, there will be a video for rectangle, and then once you get the height that you want, then you're going to follow the decrease for the square. And everybody else will be following the decrease for the square. Hi, Brenda. I've really enjoyed seeing everybody's squares and how they're coming out and the different colors that are getting used. Hi, Catherine. So, for those of you that don't know, at the top of the page there is little bubbles, and they say like announcements and photos, and you can scroll back and forth on them. And under the events, there is 2 events. One is swatches that are like small pillow size graphs for beginners that are learning the color changes. And no Pittsburgh shirt today. No, we got wine today. And then the other event is the T-Cal that's going on, which is a corner-to-corner Tunisian crochet entrelac cal. And that will be up for quite a while, so take your time. There's no rush. And I apologize to those that I told I would have the videos up today, because I did completely plan on it and the videos are made. It's just Facebook's just spinning in circles and I can't get them to load. Maybe it's the rain up here or Facebook. Hopefully I can get them sorted out either later this evening or first thing tomorrow morning. Do we have any questions about the T-Cow? Any of the new members, do you have questions about hooks, color changes, where to find the videos? We do have videos for right-handed, left-handed, and for the, they're closed captioned. I'm trying to think. I know a lot of the new people have been asking about the different hooks and what I like. I really like the Knitter's Pride because it's all in one. You know, the cables, the length of the cables, the stoppers, everything's all in there. It's the best bang for your buck. As far as like the next set that I like, it's the Addy Click set, and I like them because, you know, I think a lot of us all started with the Boy or the Susan Bates, the metal hooks, and these are metal. They were a bit of a splurge for me because everything is separate. You know, you buy the set of hooks, and even though it shows a cable on the front, you do not get a cable with it, so you need to order the cables separately and the stoppers, and there's only 2 stoppers in a package. So Sherry said, need wine, the way they're planned. Yes. Yes, we do. So it doesn't really look like we have a lot of questions for the T-Cow, which is great. It means everybody's, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are having a problem. Penny, I want to learn how to T-Cow. Penny, if you can cast on and cast off, and you're familiar with the Tunisian simple stitch, then there are videos in the T-Cow. We're doing the Tunisian corner to corner entrelock in the one. That's what we're doing now, and it's super easy because all it is, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do corner to corner, and it's not necessarily the corner to corner that you're thinking of. The corner to corner that we're doing is you are literally crocheting a block and then just connecting into it. Goodness gracious. These are the Knitter's Pride hooks, and in here I have my cables and my stoppers and my scissors, and then I have my stitch markers and cable holders in here. This is not the case that they come in. The hook that we're using for this is an 8mm. It comes with the set, and I just have a cable on it because when I put it in my whip bag, seeing the cable makes it easier to find for me. And the metal Addy Click hooks, the smaller ones are metal. The 2 larger ones that come in the set, they are a plastic. They're an acrylic. And like I said, these you have to order separate. Your hooks come separately, Penny, and then you have to order the cables. I know it shows a cable on the box, but there is not cables in the box. You have to order the cables and the stoppers separately for the Addy Click set, which is why they're a little more expensive. And the stoppers, they come in a box, and there's only 2 in a box. Which the 2 are nice, because when you're done working on your project for the evening, you can take your hook off and then just put a stopper on the other end. Karen, what I was trying to say before Facebook glitch is that I screwed up a lot of corner-to-corner blankets. Trying rectangle before I figured out I'd have to do the same amount of stitches per row till the second decrease. Yeah, there's been a few people that have said I really had a problem with corner to corner, but they're not having a problem with this because the blocks are so big, it's easier to see what's going on and to get a better understanding of it, especially because there's so many rows and we're working so big. So, my gracious. The blanket's getting nice and big, which is what I like. You know, it's getting cooler here in Pennsylvania, and that's one of the things too about, you know, working on blankets is it's nice to have this on your lap when the heater kicks on. So, Penny says I like them hooks. Yeah, I like the Knitter's Pride because if you've bought a cheap set and you really know that you like Tunisian crochet, I like the Knitter's Pride because it comes with 2 connectors, so you can connect up to 3 cables. So that's like 92 inches if you connect the longest cables together. So, not that I've ever used anything that big. I think the 40 inch is I used the 40 inch for a king size. And with the Addy Click, with the metal, I do like the metal. I think it goes back to the fact that I learned with metal. But, like I was saying, the cables and everything else they're extra and you don't get as much, so you have to order more and there's more expense into it. So the Knitter's Pride to me are like, they're the best bang for your buck. Plus I can connect the 2 to do crochet in the round. And the long cables that come with it, they just work perfectly. So Melinda says she loves her Knitter Pride. I do. I really do like them, and I have a couple different sets. Like I have the Denise, I have the Knitter's Pride, I have the Chiagu. I have the Addy Click. I bought the ones off of Wish, the plastic ones that they have on Wish, and I bought the bamboo ones off of Wish, and they were terrible. They fell apart. You kind of get what you pay for there, unfortunately. That's just the way that it is. But I knew I liked Tunisian crochet, so I upgraded and got a couple different sets. And my local students, I take them in and they get to try them out and pick out what they want and what's in their budget. And I do like it. You know, a couple of my students were like, I don't really have the money right now, so they bought a cheap set. And then they were like, well, if I would have just saved another 2-3 weeks, I could have just got the Knitter's Pride set. Now I got to start from scratch and save up because I spent the money on the ones from Wish and they fell apart. Okay, so how is everybody enjoying the cow? Does anybody feel like they're behind? Is anybody way ahead? Is there something you're looking for? Sherry, will you hold yours up again? I want to see the colors you're using. This has a lot of variegated colors in it. And in all actuality, I'm only using 2 colors. This is, I love this yarn in Plumberry, and I know the lighting in here is terrible, but this has a sage and a purple and an autumn orange, and there's so many different pretty colors in here that the lighting just doesn't do it justice. And then the other one that I'm using, this is just a small part of the skein that's left, but this one is called Black Gradient, and it is also, I love this yarn, and I'm really liking the way that the colors are coming out. I played around with a few different colors and messed around with some stuff, and to me I wanted something that was kind of going to look patchwork quilty and match the living room. Hi Josie. And my living room has a lot of the plum kind of wine color, the sage green, cream, not so much the autumn fall, but it all kind of plays together. And I think when it's all said and done, I really like the way that the colors are working up. So, and I like the way that the black squares are working up as well, because, you know, here they are, and then the contrast is so much lighter. So, I really like the way it's working up. It took me a little while because it's not how I pictured the colors were going to work out. So when I started working on it, and I must have been like the 10th increase still. Sherry said she loves it, feels like fall, great colors. It grew on me when I first started it, and I got to like the 10th increase, and I was looking at it, I was thinking, I don't know how these colors are going to work. I don't know if I necessarily like this, you know, because when I pick the skein up, you can see the colors, but some colors kind of pop to you, and other ones were like, oh, you know, I think those will be okay. And then when I started working on it and I got to some of the colors, I was like, I don't know. You know, I laid it out on the bed and looked at it and thought, we'll see. And I did a little bit more, and people were like, you know what, I really like that. And so, you know, the more I worked on it, the more it kind of grew on me. And, you know, when I lay it on the couch now and I see the different colors and how it blends into the living room, and the colors that I have, I do really like it. I was a little worried because, like I said, I do have like a brown, it's in one of the throw rugs that I have in the living room, and it's got like a, it's almost like a burnt orange, a little bit darker brown to it, and it's really popping up against there. So, because I was a little worried that the orange was going to be a little bit off. And that's what I said too. You know, the nice thing is all the leaves are starting to fall off the trees, and colors are coming out now, and it really matches everything for the fall, and I really like it. So it took a little bit to grow on me, and I know a few other people were like, I really like my colors, but I don't know if I like what's going on. And then after they got into it a little bit, then they really liked it. So far, do we have any questions? Is anybody having problems with the T-cowl? Does everybody know where it is? Is anybody having problems finding it? I know a few people had problems with their gauge swatches because they put the iron on top of 2 towels and like really steamed it, and it really stretched their swatch out. And you know, I know different people use different things, and whatever works for you is fantastic. I like to try to teach the easiest possible thing because we have so many beginners, and that's why I like the garment steamer, because it does, even though it gets hot, it doesn't get as hot as an iron, and it relaxes the fabric, and you don't really need to get super close with it, or you don't have to, you know, the frustrating thing about um, steam blocking for beginners is, you know, you finally get a Graphghan done, or you finally get a project done, and then you go and, like, I've seen it done with sweaters, I've seen it done with Graphghans, I've seen it done with hats. People steam block them and they're like, oh my gosh, this thing fit me or was perfect. And then I steam blocked it with an iron or a blow dryer or whatever, and I got too close to it, and now this thing is like 3 sizes too big, or it's super shiny, or the stitches are flat, and it's very frustrating to put that much time and effort and work into a project. And that is why I really, really like the garment steamer, because the garment steamer, it doesn't get too hot. You really have to go over your project a couple times. Sherry said, thanks for all your help. Hubby is home. Gotta run. Have a blessed evening, everyone. Good night, Sherry. Have a good evening with the husband. So yeah, that's why I like the garment steamer so much. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I use this, I use that. I try to keep it super simple. You know, I tell my class when I teach live, you know, or, you know, locally, I try to make things as idiot-proof as possible, because I know what it's like to put so much work and time and effort and blood and tears and sweat and dog hair and, you know, into your project, and be completely frustrated because you did something to your project where it didn't wash correctly, or colors bled, or whatever. So that's why I try to keep things super, super easy, super simple, tried and true ways that I've found. So I hope that, you know, that makes sense. I know that there's some seasoned people here that have ways and they really like them and they've perfected them, but I know a few have had disastrous results before they perfected them as well. So I just try to keep it as easy and beginner friendly as possible. Does anybody have any questions this evening? If not, I'm going to start wrapping things up. Please join us over at the TCal. Post your work. Post your questions if you have any over there. Post them in this group. We'll get you help. And like I said, hopefully those videos will load either this evening, and if not, then I will work on them tomorrow morning to see if I can get them uploaded. Facebook has just done whatever. So, I'll give everybody a second. I hope that I've answered everybody's questions, and I did talk about the decreasing part on here. I will be talking about, hi Jennifer, I will be adding the decreasing videos. There is some examples here that I showed this evening, and they're really not showing much, but just if you have the idea, because we've done all the increases, how to do the decreases. Like I said, Facebook is just spinning today. I don't know if it's Facebook or if it's just the weather up here. So please join us over at the TCal. Show your blankets in the group. Show them over in the TCal. Let's see what you guys got going. I look forward to seeing everybody's colors and questions. And if you guys need anything, don't hesitate to ask. We talked about hooks this evening and a few other things, so when this video uploads, and it will be available for viewing again. So please ask. Like I said, this is a beginner-friendly group, and don't hesitate to ask something when you're new. Don't feel like, well, it's been asked before. This is a teaching group. So I hope that you all have a fantastic evening. I can't wait to see what everybody's come up with for their tea-cow, and I hope that everybody has a fantastic experience with their decreases. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask, and I will help you out as soon as I see it. Thank you all for joining us for the live this evening. All of you members are what makes this group great, and all of our mods do a fantastic job of helping out as well, and they're all on to help as well. If you guys need anything, ask. Have a great evening, and please watch the video again. If you have any questions, let me know. Good evening, guys. Bye.